Hi, this is Upping Your Game, the podcast where experts share strategies to help you, your team, or your organization thrive in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world. I'm Stephen Krempel, your host. Today, we have Megan Heber, and she's director of the CCPA graduate program for SMU. Megan is a dedicated leader with over 15 years of experience transforming communities through a mission-driven work in the arts and nonprofit sectors. As a professor at SMU, she inspires future leaders while earning accolades like being the Hope Graduate Professor of the Year and a classically trained musician, by the way. Megan's diverse career spans roles in education, marketing, military service, and embodying her lifelong commitment to the transformative power of the arts. Megan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
So very, very simple here. We're going to ask you one key question, though. What makes your program that you're going to introduce to us so unique?
So at SMU, we just introduced a brand new program, an online Master of Arts in Arts and Nonprofit Leadership. And I think for me, what makes the program so unique is that it's actually designed for people who are already passionate about nonprofit work, but they might just not have had that formal training in how to run that nonprofit effectively. Many people enter nonprofits because they care deeply about a cause. It could be the arts, education, social justice, or even humanitarian work. But the reality is, especially in today, leading and sustaining nonprofits require really specific skills. And that can be in fundraising, in governance, financial stewardship, and of course, leadership. So I think that the program's unique because it is fully online. So you can be a working professional in the field and continue with your day job while getting the skills you need. We really focus on real world application. So it's not just theory, it's practical application that you can immediately apply to your work. And even though SMU is rooted in the arts, we've been working in arts management and nonprofit leadership for the last 45 years. We take a very broad view of all nonprofits. So you'll get to play in advocacy, social services, health, education, all of this within just one program. So if I have to sum it up, I think the core unique value of this program comes down to empowering people. So whether you're leading a nonprofit, launching one, or even serving on a board, you can be more effective in your work.
Wow. Actually, I think one of the misunderstood things about being a nonprofit is that's a really complex organization that people have to take care of, though, right? It is not that you're not making profit. There's so many elements, and especially fundraising and stuff, which people in a regular organization don't really have to do, which is actually more tricky. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it's fully online, real world applications and, how it empowers people to be able to do things they're really, really passionate about. So that's very interesting. But who is this targeted at specifically, though?
When we designed the program, we were really looking at two main groups of people, which is what this program is designed for. First, it's for those already working in the nonprofit sector, but you might have learned everything on the job. Many nonprofit leaders have never formally studied nonprofit management. It's not typically something you can major in as an undergraduate. So they got into it through that passion, that mission, that community action, which is wonderful and great. But then at a certain point in your career, you might realize that you need some more structured knowledge in all of those areas that you really may not have had education in. So like financial management, fundraising, and then nonprofit leadership. So that's really group one of the people who, like me, accidentally fell into nonprofits, loved it, but realized that there was a gap in their knowledge. And then I think the second one is really people looking to step into nonprofit leadership roles. So maybe you're not there yet, but maybe you have a passion project and you want to start your own nonprofit, but you have no idea how to get started. Maybe you're a for-profit executive who is joining a nonprofit board And you want to learn a little bit more about those differences between for-profits and nonprofits. So a lot of times board members, for example, in nonprofits come from that business or law backgrounds.
Yep.
And you might not necessarily know those really special differences in governance and responsibilities. So this program will also look after them and help them be more effective stewards of that organization. So really, I guess at the broadest level too, nonprofits are massive. We make up 10% of all jobs in the US. So helping people get the skills they need is the two target groups that we're really trying to serve.
Well, 10% is a big deal, though. And I think, like you rightfully said, there are a lot of people in nonprofits now, but there are some people considering or wanting to get into it. And I think you guys offer a perfect solution to help people bring them up to speed as fast as they can or they want to, right? So especially when it's online, though. So
that's the hope.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I think you probably got a corner in this market right here, though. So specifically, people are kind of, picky about exactly what skills am I going to be gaining if I take this program, Megan. So
the skills that you're going to get focused on first is going to be financial management. Okay. So you're going to know how to manage a nonprofit's budget. You're going to know how to read a 990. You're going to know how to really do the accountability and transparency that is required of us as nonprofits. We're also going to spend a lot of time on fundraising and resource development. So that could be grant writing, major gifts, corporate sponsorships, donor relations. You'll have an entire class, and then that's also sprinkled throughout the program. So you'll get a lot of experience in fundraising and resource development. We'll also do a lot about data and impact measurement. So important so that we can actually measure the impact we're having on our communities and the people in our programs. So you'll take a class about data and impact measurement. And then I think probably the most valuable part of the program is you'll get to actually do a leadership project of your choice based on an organization that you either work with or are passionate about. And you'll get to build out a strategic plan for them. So you'll take everything that you've learned and then actually apply it to a real organization. So I think at the end of the day, it's not just about understanding nonprofit leadership, it's preparing you to do the work and to do it well.
Wow, I like that, though. So you actually come out with a tangible strategic plan for either your current organization or a organization that you've chosen for. It sounds like you cover a whole important array of different projects, from financial management, fundraising, and grant writing specifically, or the other things. And this data impact management is really important because in the end, people start a nonprofit to try and make an impact in society, and environment, in the world, whatever. And if you are teaching them how to measure that, then that's excellent, right? So can I ask you just one more last question, though, Megan?
Always.
Okay. If there's one thing that you would like our audience to remember about this great program you have, or whether it's the target audience or even the, what they will learn, what would that be? What's the one thing that you want our audience to remember?
I think it's easy to forget that nonprofits are everywhere. So nonprofits are such a backbone to our country and are the third sector. You've got the public sector, the for-profit sector, and then the nonprofit sector really filling in that crucial gap between the two. And we're big, we're huge. 10% of the entire workforce in the US are with nonprofits. You were probably born at a nonprofit hospital. You probably give to different nonprofit causes. You might attend religious services, which are nonprofits. So I think what I would love the audience to know and remember is nonprofits are everywhere. And the best thing we can do, I believe, is to help leaders of future nonprofits and existing nonprofits lead with passion and purpose. And that's what this program is trying to do.
Well, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You heard this from Megan Heber from SMU. 10% is a big deal, and I think your program is a very big deal. Thank you so much again for coming on Upping Your Game. And you're definitely making a big impact in the nonprofit world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephen.